With so many different lighting options on the market, it's time that we figure out once and for all who makes the best lights for your off-road vehicle. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Carlos, and behind me are the Jeeps that we feature here on the channel the most. And in today's video, we are going head to head with three of the largest lighting manufacturers on the market. Now, all three of these lights come in different price points, but they are the top of the line, brightest in their category per manufacturer. And I'm no scientist, so this is probably going to be the least scientific LED lighting review and comparison video that you'll watch, but I am an enthusiast, I am an off-roader, and at the end of the day, I know what I'm looking for out of a lighting setup for my rigs, and I hope this video will help you narrow it down as you're making lighting choices for your vehicle. And make sure you stick around to the end of this video because we're going to be giving away some of these lights because frankly, I'm running out of places to put lights on my rigs. Let's go ahead and introduce the three lights that we're going to be focusing on today. The first light on our list today is the Baja Designs LP9 Pro. We've got a pair of them right here on the front bumper of my Jeep. I've had a little bit of time with these lights on my Jeep and I'm really liking what I see so far, but I haven't put them side by side with the other lights that we're going to look at today, so we're going to see how they stand up against the rest. The second light we're going to be taking a look at today is the Rigid Industries Adapt XP. If you guys saw the video on these that I uploaded about a year, maybe a year and a half ago, these lights at the time were the brightest lights that I had ever seen in this form factor. And if anything is going to be able to stand up against the LP9s, I think it's this little guy, but we're going to find out for sure. And the last light that we're going to take a look at today is the Colight Trailblazer 6.5-inch LED light. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Colight, they are a relatively newer brand. However, they're really popular on Amazon, and so I figured this would be a more budget-friendly option for us to test and see how it stands up against the others. Now, I told you guys I wasn't going to make this super scientific. I really want the lights and the output to show for itself, but I do think it's probably fair that we go through some of the details and specifications on each of these lights so you can at least have somewhat of an idea of where we're starting from. The Baja Designs LP9 Pro is a driving combo light. Comes with a low beam, a high beam, and an amber daytime running light in this configuration. They're about 8 inches round and they come with about 12,500 lumens. The LP9 Pro retails for a little over $1,200 for the pair of lights. The Rigid Industries Adapt XP comes with a scene, driving, and spot patterns. It's about 9,300 lumens per light, as well as comes with a high beam and low beam that's adjustable with the Adapt GPS system. It's a 6-inch light, and a pair of these will run about $751. Next on the list are the Colight 6.5-inch Trailblazer series lights. They're a spot and flood combo with about 6,600 lumens per light. There's no high beam or low beam on these, but there is an amber and white daytime running light. And these are the only lights that I tested today that have a harness included. These retail for right at $200 for the pair. And with all of that out of the way, now we only have one more thing left to do, and that's wait till nightfall so we can actually test these things out. Alright, so as you guys can see, it is basically pitch black out here except for my flashlight. We're just out here in a giant field here in town, and there's the Jeep. So you'll have to forgive the road noise that's going on behind me, but I figured this would be a great place to show you guys exactly how bright these lights are because there's no other light out here. The video quality may not be the best because I'll be honest with you, I don't know how to change the settings on this camera. But that also goes to show there's no camera tricks. What you see is what you get. This is exactly what it looks like from the front of the Jeep with the LP9s on. So that right there is just the LP9s. I've got rock lights on underneath the Jeep, but they're not projecting forward at all. And you have all of this massive spread of light. Now, the camera doesn't really do it justice because realistically, I can see light all the way on the tree line out there, and I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that, but as you can see, there's a couple nice hot spots right there in the middle, and those are coming directly from the forward facing LEDs. And then you also have the side shooters, which are spreading super way out here on the side of the Jeep. So you guys can see from the side of the Jeep just how much of a spread this is. My front tire is right here, and the front tire is actually what's cutting off some of the light coming over here on the side. Now these are mounted nice and low on the bumper. If they were mounted up high on the A-pillar, it would have a completely different view of the light out here. But frankly, these lights are just massive and they would not go right on the A-pillar. Now from the same location, we're gonna do the Colights. So I placed these two right above the LP9, so they do have a little bit of a height advantage. But as you guys can see, there's a pretty stark difference in the light output, which is frankly kind of what I expected. Now there's a pretty good hot spot right here in the middle where both of them are aimed. And honestly, it's not a bad amount of light to be right there in front of you, but there is nothing angled out here to the sides. But with that said, I can still see a little bit of the trees out there like I mentioned to you guys with the LP9s, and the distance on these lights is actually pretty solid. And now we have the Rigid Adapt XPs. So I hope you can see what I'm seeing. There's a ton of spread on this light. I think it might be actually a little wider of a beam than the Baja Designs lights, but the one caveat I will add is that sure, there's some additional light here on the side, but it's not nearly as bright over here on the side as it was with the Bajas. They're also mounted up quite a bit higher, so that should be noted. And directly in front of me, there's a good spread of light with a really solid hot spot right in the middle, but the distance is not nearly as far as the Baja Designs. These lights are mounted significantly higher than the LP9s were, but I still can't even see the tree line in the distance that I was telling you guys about with the Bajas. So it's safe to say all of these lights are pretty dang bright, but I've got a couple thoughts and I've got some stuff I want to share with you guys. So what do I really think about all of these lights? Well, if I'm being completely honest, I absolutely love the Baja Designs LP9s. Listen, I hear you already. I know they're really, really expensive, but trust me, these are the kind of lights that will outlive your rig and are truly the only light that you have to have on the front of your vehicle. The output on these things is insane. They're crazy bright. And you guys have seen how I've reacted to other lights in the past. I'm telling you, nothing compares to these. Now, of course, if you're on a budget, the Trailblazer for a couple $100 is probably gonna be an okay light. It's probably gonna last you a decent amount of time, but I personally can't say that I've heard anything in regards to the warranty situation for Colight, so who knows? If it doesn't last you, now you've got a $200 paperweight. And of course, you guys know that I'm a big fan of the Rigid Adapt as well, because that's just a really cool looking light, and it's also really freaking bright. But it's just not even close to how bright these LP9s are. Now, in complete transparency, all three of the lights that we tested today were sent to me free of charge, but none of these companies put any kind of parameters limiting me to what I have to say or show on these lights. So I'm really calling it like I see it. And how I see it is that Baja Designs is at the top of the game for off-road lighting. And for that reason, they're gonna stay right where they are on my Jeep. Now, if you made it this far in the video, it's probably because you remembered I said something about a giveaway, and that's exactly what we're gonna do with these Trailblazers. I'm gonna give away this set of lights to one of you guys, and all you have to do is hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed, and drop a comment down below telling me which of these lights you would have chose and why. I'll pick a winner in, I don't know, 2-3 weeks maybe. And with that said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for bearing with me over the past couple months when I took a little time off, but we are back and expect plenty more where this one came from. See you soon.